Maybe we didn't violate the other 9 commandments, but all of us have looked at something else and said, I want that. I want that. Now, why this is important? Because James is telling us that we're drawn away. A temptation hits us. A trial hits us. A financial trial hits us, and we're coveting to be rich. How many know you can't covet to be rich? It's not money that's the sin. It's not money that's evil. It's the love of money. Do you got love of money in your heart? He says many have fallen because of this. Many people's witness and ministry has been taken down because they're letting this thing lay in their heart and they're not dealing with it. Matthew chapter 15, I'm going to be looking at verse 18 through 20, but give me a second. So you have lust in your heart. Okay. You got lust in your heart. We all have had lust in our heart. Amen. Every one of us. Paul said that covetousness, it's there. Maybe we didn't violate the other 9 commandments, but all of us have looked at something else and said, I want that. I want that. What do you do with that? You got to deal with it. You cannot let that sit there, because the day is coming when the enticement comes. If you let that sit there, that lust, God will show you that you're lusting. Sometimes you'll drive through a nice neighborhood and you're looking at people's houses. It's okay, like, wow, that's amazing. Hey, man, look at that house. But when you're sitting there in your heart, you know it, you're like, man, I'm just an abject failure in life. You're just driving through looking at other people's stuff and thinking like, I wish I had that. I wish I had that. Or somebody's spouse, or somebody's marriage, or somebody's singleness, or somebody's wealth, or children, whatever it is. You're sitting there and you got this thing in your heart that says, I want that. I want that. I want that. How many of you know that eventually that temptation will come around and that enticement will come? Another word for enticement could be trigger. Something will trigger that desire. And now you're like, well, how did I get here? Because it was there and you didn't deal with it. It was there and you didn't deal with it. Matthew chapter 15, verse 16 says, are you also still without understanding? He said, do you not yet understand that whatever enters the mouth goes into the stomach and is eliminated? What the Pharisees were doing, they were trying to convince the disciples of Jesus that they got to eat, they got to wash their hands. They're worried about the outward man, but Jesus is concerned about the inward man. And he's saying it's not what's on the outside of you that's the problem. It's what's sitting on the inside of you.